Sophie Cunningham gets a hard foul, going up for a layup. Everybody has seen it at this point from Chicago's DiJonai Carrington. Stephanie White, after the game, didn't stand up for Sophie, but rather said she had no problem with the hard foul. Carrington then goes to Threads and posts white privilege with an @ to the Indiana Fever. Yet another contentious moment that now feels like it can't even just be about the game. It's about race. It's about everything else. Caroline, how do we break this down?
What's really going on in the WNBA? DiJonai Carrington was ejected after making heavy contact with Sophie Cunningham, sparking immediate controversy among fans. Phoenix Mercury coach Tyler Marsh described the play as an attempt to make a play on the ball, but many viewers felt the explanation didn't match the intensity of the incident. The controversy grew even further after Carrington's controversial white privilege post resurfaced, fueling heated debate over accountability and league standards. Now, fans are questioning whether the response would have been different if the roles were reversed, and why the coaching staff appeared so restrained afterward. Let's break down the hit, the reaction, and the bigger debate surrounding the WNBA.
Obviously, it would be easy from the outside for folks, fans, to read something into a foul happening with Sophie Cunningham, just the way that she's been in the headlines lately. Did you get a sense that there was any extra emotion, anything like that coming into this game from your players? Did you guys have any internal conversations about that heading into this game?
No, we're fighting for our lives to try to make the playoffs, so DiJonai is a passionate player, just like most of our players on our team, and obviously.
The Chicago and Indiana Fever matchup was supposed to be about basketball, but the game quickly became another heated chapter in the WNBA's growing list of controversies. During a fast break attempt, DiJonai Carrington made forceful contact with Sophie Cunningham, with her forearm appearing to catch Cunningham around the upper body and face. The play immediately sparked outrage among fans and turned what should have been a routine basketball moment into a major debate over physicality, officiating, and accountability.
WNBA star Sophie Cunningham, already at the center of a fight over transgender participation, took a flagrant foul from an opposing player who was ejected from the game. Our Jan Crawford is following the story.
Here's Cunningham up ahead of the field, lays it.
It was a hard foul as the Indiana Fever's Sophie Cunningham went in for a layup. She took a hit across the face and neck that led to an immediate ejection for the Chicago Sky's DiJonai Carrington.
Cunningham was racing toward the basket in transition with a clear lane when Carrington closed in from behind. Rather than simply challenging the shot, Carrington made significant contact around Cunningham's upper body, bringing the play to an abrupt and controversial end. The force of the collision immediately drew attention from players, officials, and fans, with many questioning whether the contact went well beyond a normal basketball play.
For an absolute wind-up and smack in the face. She gets kicked out of the game, rightfully so, then goes on Threads, and she posts this. Oh yes, she calls it white privilege. Now keep in mind, the woman who did the assault and battery literally got kicked out of the game because she did a technical foul too. You can't do somebody in the face like that without getting kicked out of the game. That could have been any player. But she said white privilege because Cunningham
was racing toward the basket in transition with a clear lane when Carrington closed in from behind. Rather than simply challenging the shot, Carrington made significant contact around Cunningham's upper body, bringing the play to an abrupt and controversial end. The force of the collision immediately drew attention from players, officials, and fans, with many questioning whether the contact went well beyond a normal basketball play.
I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that DiJonai intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul, but I also don't think that she intentionally went for the neck.
Officials took another look at the play and ultimately upgraded the foul to a flagrant 2, resulting in Carrington's immediate ejection. The decision reflected the severity of the contact and the fact that the play left little opportunity for a clean defensive contest. For many watching, the ejection was viewed as the expected consequence of a dangerous and highly controversial moment.
This game individually, we didn't come into this one with any more or less juice than we've had the last 4 since the All-Star break. Like our mindset is trying to win games as a player and as a coaching staff, and so that's where it was at going into this game, and that's where it will be moving forward. You hope that Sophie's okay, that nobody's severely injured, but at the same time, it's not. I don't think there is ill intent on our end. So.
Yet, when Coach Tyler Marsh spoke to the media afterward, his explanation only added more fuel to the controversy. Marsh said he believed Carrington was attempting to make a play on the ball and admitted he had not watched the replay before giving his assessment. That response immediately raised questions, especially among fans who felt the contact was clearly away from the ball and far too forceful to be considered a routine defensive play. Critics argued that Carrington had little realistic chance of making a clean block, turning the incident into a much bigger debate about judgment, accountability, and how the league handles physical plays.
Say that this is black privilege, to be totally honest with you, because her posting this white racist comment right after assaulting Sophie Cunningham on the court is actually black privilege, because she knows the WNBA won't do a single thing of significance about it. And imagine if the roles were reversed. If Sophie made a comment similar to this, then she'd likely never play again. And actually, we just saw this from Coach Sandy Brondello. She got disciplined for making, I believe, a pretty innocent, maybe, offhand comment about talking about Angel Reese and saying that she's a protected species. The
flagrant 2 call was not simply an overreaction from the officials. Many viewers saw it as an appropriate response to the severity of the contact. Carrington made significant contact with Cunningham from behind while she was attempting to finish the play, raising serious questions about where aggressive defense crosses the line. That context made the officials' decision easier to understand, especially given the responsibility to protect players during vulnerable moments. Marsh's explanation that Carrington was attempting to make a play on the ball also faced criticism from fans who believed the ball was already out of reach and that the contact primarily affected Cunningham's upper body. The controversy then expanded beyond the court after Carrington's white privilege post drew widespread attention. Marsh saying he had only just learned about the post added another layer to the story, leaving many fans questioning how closely the coaching staff was monitoring the situation and whether the response was strong enough.
Side of things, I think the flagrant 2 on DiJonai Carrington was totally and completely fair. Again, I'll go back to the full report, and the officials said the criteria for a flagrant foul penalty 2 was met since the contact was deemed unnecessary and excessive to a player in a vulnerable position. I would agree with all of those things. There was a wind-up. Sophie Cunningham was jumping up and was in a vulnerable position. So take all bias out of it. Take race out of it. Just looking at the basketball play.
The controversy grew even further when attention turned to Carrington's social media activity shortly after the incident, including a post referencing white privilege while tagging the Indiana Fever. When Coach Tyler Marsh was asked about it, he said he had only just become aware of the post and would address it later. That response added another layer to the growing criticism as fans questioned how the coaching staff was handling the situation both on and off the court. Sophie Cunningham's reaction also became part of the discussion, with officials apparently viewing her response in the context of the contact she had just experienced. As the debate continued, critics argued that the incident raised broader questions about accountability, consistency, and whether the WNBA applies the same standards to everyone involved.
News right now coming out of the DiJonai Carrington situation. That's what I was up here reading while she was talking. DiJonai Carrington has just dropped a tweet moments ago, and in this tweet she pretty much sounds like she's trying to backtrack her comments. So DiJonai Carrington about an hour ago said, "I've never once claimed that the assessment of the foul was white privilege. That was your assumption. Try exercising your critical thinking skills."
Marsh's comments also sparked comparisons with how similar situations have been discussed in the past. When comparable physical plays have occurred, coaches have often been more direct about the need for better judgment and cleaner defensive decisions. In this case, however, the explanation focused heavily on not having seen the replay or being unaware of the social media post, which left some fans questioning the tone of the response. Cunningham has experienced plenty of physical basketball throughout her career, but that does not mean every hard foul falls into the same category. For critics, the distinction in this situation came down to whether there was a legitimate attempt to make a defensive play on the ball. The controversy grew when the post-game comments appeared to portray the incident as more routine than many viewers believed the video showed, fueling an ongoing debate about physicality, player safety, and accountability.
This is why I tell you all the damn time, it's hard for me to respect a lot of the people that cover this league, because they're all true colors always come out. And I'd rather err on the side of caution. Like, nah, you might say one nice thing, but nah, I kind of have a feeling of who you are, really. Oh, wow, you said a nice article. Nah, I'm gonna refrain from giving you too much praise, because I have a feeling this is the type of person that you are.